A beautiful autumn day here at AAMI Stadium as the Brisbane Lions venture out onto the ground for this round 2 clash against the Adelaide Crows, their first home game here at AAMI Stadium for season 2004, and may only be round 2, but the Lions are looking to gain some respect after a very disappointing round 1. The Lions, well, they scraped home by 2 points against the Sydney Swans, undermanned up forward with no Jonathan Brown and Alastair Lynch, but they got off to the start they were looking for. The Adelaide Crows, well, it's their worst opening round since they entered the competition way back in 1991. And there's been a lot of talk in Adelaide throughout the week about their performance and about how they'll react this afternoon. As we take a look at the Adelaide list, they've made 4 changes. One forced Ben Hart out with a back injury.
Yeah, certainly doesn't help him. Their back half was in a lot of disarray last week. Ben Hart didn't have a great game, but he had some stability back there. For me, their forward line's the important one. They've got to work out where Carey is best suited. Scotty Welsh, an important player with Graham Johncock inside 50. They've got to kick 15 goals today. They've got to find a way to do that, and those 3 players are the key. Yes,
Trent Henschel lining up at full forward. Scott Stevens coming across from Sydney may give them another option.
Yeah, they need it too, and his pre-season form was great. Surprising to see him not play last week, but back in there and just gives them a slight alternative. No Ian Perry this week.
The Brisbane Lions have won the last 3 times they've played the Adelaide Crows. As we take a look at that team, you mentioned Brown and Lynch. Luke Powell also out of the side. Aaron Shattuck comes in.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the back half, Johnson, Michael, Lepich. It doesn't get any better than that. Adelaide forwards are certainly going to have to work hard for their goals, and the midfield led by their skipper Michael Voss, Lappin, Black, Ackermanis. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Adelaide midfield down last week, need to respond today.
Yes, a few of the Lions with underdone pre-seasons, interrupted, but they've got 19 of their 22 premiership players out there.
These are the sort of games where the skippers and the leaders need to stand tall. You bet your life Mark Rashido is really looking forward to get his teeth into this game.
The Crows' record against the Lions here at AAMI Stadium is 6 wins from 8 matches. The last time these 2 teams met here, Adelaide were victorious by just the 7 points in a ripper game back in 2002. So they'll be confident that they're back on their home deck for the first time this year, and you've picked up something already.
Well, Wayne Carey into the goal square. Mal Michaels got him. The big move for Adelaide is Kenny McGregor to centre half forward, being picked up by Justin Lepich.
So we're set to get underway. The Crows desperate to redeem themselves after last week as Clark wins the first knock. Hart punching it forward. It falls to Keating. Inside the 50 for the first time, Bradshaw out in front of Smart. Smart does enough to get it over the boundary line. We've seen Bradshaw in the back line when Brown and Lynch line up. He's become a versatile player. He goes forward in their absence.
Yeah, he certainly does, and certainly capable of kicking a bag of goals. Don't want to underestimate him. Nigel Smart with the job on him.
Boundary throw in. Clark, he's a wonderful tap ruckman. Led the AFL last season in hit-outs. And we'll have a ball up right on the Brisbane Lions forward 50. Players sorting themselves out.
We see Rashuto and Voss just deciding to rough each other up. Ball still on 50. Hard to tip against Brisbane Lions, of course, as Keating comes away, kicks the ball to the goal square, right across the face of goal. He may have kicked a goal. Clark Keating has kicked the opening goal. Well, arguably, they are the greatest team in history, and only one player out there today playing for the Brisbane Lions, Jared Brennan, hasn't played in a premiership.
It's a fair stat, isn't it? And Clark Keating, such a tremendous player too. Normally goes forward, takes a mark, kicks a goal. But once again, from the stoppage, Michael Voss just fighting for that football. A reflex give and a great goal from the pocket. Great start to Brisbane. Adelaide Crows need to start well. They are great if they're allowed to get out in front and play their natural style. They do not need to get behind, and that's a big goal to Brisbane only a couple of minutes into this game.
You can tell by the silence, KB, it was a goal at that end. Clark, big punch forward. Ackermanis coming in off the wing. The pressure was on him. It spills to McLeod. Deep towards Carey. One-on-one with Michael. The spoil came. First to recover is Mal Michael, and he's quite content to see it over the boundary line.
Good area for the Crows, though. They are very dangerous from this area. Matty Clark just needs to get his hand on the ball. They do kick a lot of goals from this spot.
Once again, this time it was Johnson knocking it over the top. Black in and under. Shattuck there. Also over the top, Tyson Edwards. They'll have another ball up.
I think Wayne Carey playing at full forward is the right way to go. Just not quite certain, Chris, whether he's got the spring in his legs anymore at centre half forward to bounce around the ground like he did in his heyday. As we see, Black pumps the ball back. Chance taken by Lappin, one of their playmakers across half back. Good change of direction. Wonderful kick.
Great kick.
And finds Bradshaw on centre wing for the Lions. Nigel Smart stands the mark as Bradshaw hugs the boundary line looking for Martin Pike. There was a bit of pushing and shoving. Carousella was playing in front. They'll pile on top. And we've got a ball up.
We spoke in the preview about the influence of Martin Pike. Well, Tyson Stengeline's got the job on him today. That shows him a lot of respect, and Sean Hart with the job on Andrew McLeod.
Well, he has played centre forward last year also when Jonathan Brown was out. As Ackerman is beaten by McLeod. Hart, the tackler, does well. Under pressure, the Crows now find Goodwin. Comes away from half back. Goes short. The run will come from the veteran, Smart. Right along the centre square boundary line and pumps it in, and here's Carey in front. He'll be shooting from 52 metres. The King spins the ball in the hands. The lead is on from Johncock. Carey goes wide, looking for Welsh. McGregor got his hands on the ball, dropped what he should have taken. Chance now for Lepage. Risciuto had it, the Brownlow medalist. Also a touch of the fumbles, crashing it over the top. That time was Lepage. And we've got a ball up 45 metres out from goal.
Crows fans thinking Mark Risciuto should have got the free kick on that occasion. He's lined up against Michael Voss. What a duel that will be.
Clark takes the front position. Risciuto tries to fend off. Good tackle by Lepage. Loose ball. Chance for the Crows. Just 20 metres out from goal. The Brisbane Lions desperate. Wide at the bottom of the pack. Lepage thought he had it. Black somehow shovels out the ball to Voss. Finds Lappin. The magic three combined. Here's Hart. Needs a kind bounce. Traps it. Heads of the centre square to the half-forward line. Caracella's out in front. Henschel, young man, trying to get his hands on the ball and does well. Comes away. Hammers the ball back. Great kick. And finds Stevens.
Stevens with his first kick for his new club. Releases Goodwin. He could get very close from here to the top of the square for Carey. McGrath chipping in, helping out his fullback with the mark. And there's a player free, and that's Bradshaw. Grandstand side. Not a lot to kick to, though, at the moment. It's a very short forward line for the Lions. Your marking players are Carosella and Pike. Hart. Somehow Hadley got free. He's going to be run down by Hart. Did enough to cause the turnover. Unfortunately for McLeod, he couldn't take it cleanly.
A couple of early fumbles by the Crows.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, a lot of pressure individually and as a team. Interesting to see Trent Henschel back in the back half today, getting an early touch, looking much better in the back half.
Clark over the top of Keating. Voss. Got to beat a couple. Handball to Black. Free kick back to Voss as Black gave it off to Bradshaw, but Johncock was into the back of the Lions skipper.
Risciuto's picking up Voss. What do you think of that, Chris?
Oh, I think it's a great match-up. A lot of talk that the Crows are just going to go for a shootout here, just try and outscore Brisbane, and that's an ideal match-up for Adelaide.
Voss, restricted in his distance with his kicking of late. Great mark by Matthew Clark, often criticised for his lack of contested marks. That's a good one. And here's Nigel Smart in some space. Through the centre circle, Carey the target again. Michael reads it the best. Great start to the season by Mal Michael. Terrific game on Barry Hall last week. Bradshaw roaming wide to get his possessions. White, the veteran, to Lappin. Back to White, and he'll take a bounce. Unusual kick. McRae went in front of Pike. Massey did well. And ball up. Lions have the first score. It's a goal. Adelaide yet to score, but they've had plenty of the footy.
They certainly have had plenty of the footy, but what they're still continuing to do this year is just crab across the ground instead of going direct up and down the corridor. They've got to get the ball up the corridor, try and get Carey one-on-one.
Clark doing well, getting his hands on the ball for the Crows. Chance for Hadley. High ball inside 50. Ackermanis with the flight, took courage, take the VC. Pounced on by McRae. Upended. Loose ball. Scott tickles the ball long in front, can't take it. Hadley the tackler. Scott piles on top as well, and we've got a ball up. There's a lot of talk in Melbourne about who's the best fullback in the competition. Matthew Scarlett, of course, last year was All-Australian. There was a lot of critics who felt that Mel Michael is still the best fullback in the competition.
Two different types though, aren't they, Kevin?
Different types. Scarlett certainly, as we see, Lappin kicks a high ball, is an attacking fullback. Mel Michael, of course, is probably back there and goes for the big punch. Chance now. Hadley.
Free kick.
Quick snap.
Back to Voss.
Too high it was, the umpire signalled too high, the tackle from Mark Rasciuto.
Well, Voss has had it 3 times, and Rasciuto 1 possession. So Michael Voss will be shooting from just 35 to 40 metres out. He's directly in front, and if he kicks this, it'll be his 200th goal in AFL football.
And that was fair enough, that was there.
Game number 225 for Michael Voss. Is this the double century of goals? Michael Voss directly in front. Ambles in, the Brisbane skipper, straight through the centre. 2 straight goals to the Lions. The Crows yet to score.
Well, we are talking about the elite player of this competition, both as a leader and as a player. What a great matchup, Rasciuto v Voss. At this stage, Voss with the edge. You would think Rasciuto may have an edge in fitness, but as he always does, gets his first hand to the ball. Loose ball, Voss is on the end of it, and like the true pro, kick straight. Not the start the Crows were looking for. Great start by Brisbane. Crows need the next goal. Get the crowd involved in this game of footy.
Been a long time coming, that double century from Michael Voss. He's been stuck on 199 since round 17 last year. Lions by 12 points. Another ball upcoming. Hadley in there. He's starting on the ball for the Lions. Rhett Bigland's on the bench. The Crows. Clark. Here's Rasciuto. Bullocking his way through to Bassett. Off one step. Lepic in front. And once again, a Lions mark in their defensive 50. Goes wide to Hart. The Norm Smith medalist driving it up the line towards Pike. Right with him, Stenglein. It's a pretty good matchup, Chris.
I really like it.
Height-wise, and they've got both good endurance. They can both cover ground.
Tyson Stenglein, a fantastic player, very good defensively, working on his offensive part of his game as well. The interesting move is Kenny McGregor to centre half forward. They said they'd never move him, keep him back. He's gone forward, just looking a little at sea at the moment.
Never say never, Chris, as Voss is released by Pike. And the captain drives them forward towards the goal square. Long ball, Henschel.
Oh.
Gee, that almost went through. Henschel gets a hand on it, just the behind.
Michael Voss having an enormous influence on this game early. Mark Rasciuto just needs to shut him down just quickly. Had his 5 disposals, Voss. Kicked the goal, nearly 2. The major player at the moment.
Not too bad for a bloke on one leg. Michael Voss.
I'd play him on no legs.
As Henschel brings the ball back for the Crows. Big pack of players. Bradshaw tried to slide under the ball. Lappin had it, lost it. Smart's got it as well. It's all tied up, and we've got a ball up.
Well, the Crows are certainly at the contest, but the problem is at the moment they're at second. Brisbane certainly getting first hand on the ball. Last week the Crows were out crumbed all over the park. Same start today, worrying signs early.
Clark once again winning the knock. Trapped well by Lappin to Black. Not his best kick. And the Birdman, Brett Burton, taking a good mark in his defensive 50. Look to switch it to the grandstand side and does so. Stevens his target. Good long hard lead. Created some space up forward. Goodwin. Now up forward, McGregor's free. Goodwin heads in that direction. McGregor. Carey the target. Michael hangs off him. Carey in the best spot. Couldn't quite take it. Hart goes back to help out. Michael, Lappin, and they're pretty cool and calm there. Hadley goes wide towards the big ruckman and Keating. He's got to get around Edwards, just decides to bang it forward. Pike and Stenglein, smart, been good early. Keating showing some ground skills. Here's Stenglein once again. Short.
Free kick.
Free kick going back to the lines. It's going to Pike after Keating had come through.
It was great work by Keating, wasn't it? Just attack on the footy, brilliant.
And it was good play by Mel Michael. When the ball comes in high, he steps back from Wayne Carey, doesn't want to get into any body work, then takes a couple of steps, and we know he's about the best defensive puncher in the business, Mel Michael.
Well, they've taken it inside their forward 55 times now, the Crows, yet to score. The Lions 6 times for 4 scoring shots.
Great example there of Wayne Carey's inability to lift both arms above his shoulder, making work much easier for Mel Michael.
Smart, another good spoil. This time, Lappin's away. Crows fans not happy. Lappin won't have enough on that. Needs a kind bounce. Burton goes back. Another rush behind. The Lions continue to pepper the goal front. They lead by 15 points, almost halfway through this first term.
Well, there's some worrying signs for the Crows. Brisbane first with the ball, attacking the ball very hard, ferocious in their tackling. Chance now for Black, somehow gets the ball out. Hadley pumps the ball back inside 50,
trouble.
getting back. Here's Voss, couldn't take it. Ackermanis can kick a goal, runs in, hits the post. Now the ball's coming back. It's a free kick to Voss.
That's his third free kick of the quarter.
And boys, it's all happening in the midfield, or not happening if you're a Crows supporter. Nigel Lappin 7 touches, Voss 5, Hart 5, Black 5. They are doing the damage.
So the crowd at AAMI Stadium very unhappy as Michael Voss is going to come in and he's going to bang through his second goal. 3-3, 21 the Lions. The Crows yet to score.
Adelaide football crowd not happy at the moment. Michael Voss, the man on the screen, 2 goals, certainly having the better of the early duel against Mark Rasciuto head-to-head.
Has he done much tagging before or run with players? I know players have picked up Mark Rasciuto in the past, but has he had to worry about picking up someone like a Michael Voss?
He's got a pretty good defensive action, Mark Rasciuto. The free kick, it's not there at all. I mean, that's a 50-50 ball at best. Play on. Brisbane a little lucky. Crows under pressure, 21 points behind, 15-minute mark of the first quarter. They were looking to get off to a flyer, and that hasn't happened.
Free kicks, Lions 4, Adelaide 0. When they get their first one, 50,000 Crows fans will be elated and they'll be noisy. Hadley driving the Lions forward again. Bradshaw in front. Again the spoil from Smart, but it falls to Carosella. Off one step, gets plenty of distance. Again to the goal square. Bradshaw, that's a mark!
Oh, he's play on.
Play on! Corrupted. I think he's surprised himself.
Well, it looked pretty clean from here.
Let's have a look.
Oh, you pay those, don't you?
That's a mark?
That's a mark.
Oh, well.
May have bounced off
Nigel
Smart's arms.
Square up.
They were due for one, the Crows. Free kick to Adelaide, and here's the screams. It's going to Matthew Clark for a ruck infringement. He's going to go wide, looking for Burton. Wonderful runner is Brett Burton, as we know. Lepic arrived, couldn't mark, down in front. Rasciuto in the right spot. Handle a little bit untidy. Hadley. Certainly hard at it at the moment. Hadley, it's almost like he's just trying to break into this team. He's got to go a million mile an hour.
Well, he's had his 6 disposals too, so certainly getting plenty of the footy. Brisbane just getting the ball inside 50 at will and converting when they get the ball there.
Well, it's just his 6th game. Richard Hadley did kick that great goal in the grand final as well. That's his only goal in AFL football. Chance for Tyson Edwards around the corner. It was a poor kick. Welsh first to the scene, back to McGregor. John Cock wants to back himself. Does well, runs to 50, closes to 48. Hammers the ball into the goal square, getting back. Was Stevens, couldn't take it. Doherty wants a free kick. They'll get a boundary throw in.
They've been unlucky there, the Crows. I mean, Sean Hart's intention surely was the boundary line.
Gary Ayres certainly under the pump early. All Brisbane Crows need a settler.
Johnson, magnificent in the back pocket. Lappin, try to be a bit fancy, clever enough to get his foot to the ball. Great tackle by John Cock. 3-3-21 the Lions. The Crows yet to score. They've got a ball up 48 metres out from goal. Biglands does well against Charman. Gives Keating a bit of a breather. Lappin from half-back. Just pumps the ball wide. Out on the full.
He's got to be careful with their use of the ball, Brisbane. Certainly getting plenty of it. Don't want to get too cute. Nigel Lappin's last couple of touches, just a little cute.
But when they're under pressure, they don't try and be too fancy. They rather get the ball out of the danger zone.
Darryl White just coming off the ground, just limping with what looks to be a slight ankle.
McGregor. In front was Stevens. Couldn't take on the second grab. Black ran into a brick wall, a bit of a roadblock as we see Mal Michael takes the ball over for a toss back in.
It's going to be the problem from Adelaide all day as we see Darryl White on the boundary. It looks to be a slight leg problem. Trying to penetrate the Brisbane Lions defence is not easy.
Biglands pushing and shoving. Beaten that time by Charman. Johnson, again from the back pocket. Initiates the run, gives it across to Scott. Pumps the ball back to Voss. Doesn't waste any time, Michael Voss to McRae. Non-stop action. Here's a chance. This could bounce through from McRae. He's kicked a goal.
That man, Michael Voss, again into the play, this time working out of a forward pocket. Nathan Bassett, his direct opponent, so strong in the air. I mean, there's not much this bloke can't do. His influence on the game enormous. That time, the strong contested mark, the vision to give off to Craig McRae, who is a thumping kicker to footy. And whether he meant it or not, that is a fantastic kick.
Darryl White's on the bench. Let's go to Mark Aston.
Yeah, he copped a knock on his leg about 3 or 4 minutes ago, and he started limping around, and Brendan came on, who of course is the player that Lee Matthews reckons is one of the most exciting young players he's ever coached. But at the moment, White's getting some treatment on his right leg. I'll keep you up to date.
Oh, great smother.
That was Hart. Lappin, possession number 9. Johnson to Charman, who's now on the ground. Voss out in front again. Play on the call, Ackermanis. If it's not one, it's the other, isn't it? They're coming from everywhere. Ackermanis spots up Brad Scott. An easy mark inside their forward 50. It's all one way, Chris.
It is one-way traffic. Nightmares from last week. The Crows midfield again, not up to scratch. Cannot get a ball away from a clearance at the moment. Exactly the same trouble they had last week against the Kangaroos. Brisbane just streaming forward and hitting their targets. The skill difference between the two sides and their structure are just poles apart.
4 goals, 3 to no score. Brad Scott looking to make it a 33-point margin with still 6 minutes remaining in the first term. He's got it. You've got to remember the Lions are playing away.
Look at the amount of space Ackermanis has on that occasion. So much time to fumble, settle, balance, kick the goal. They don't miss. The worrying thing again for the Crows, they haven't had a shot on goal, let alone a ball inside 50.
It's the Lions by 33 points, 5-3-33. The Crows yet to score. Charman comes charging in, thumps the ball forward. Carousella wants a free kick and he's got it. He's being held. Voss is lurking in the goal square. He's already kicked a couple of goals. Carousella is going for Voss. One out. Chance for Bradshaw over the top. This could bounce through. Off target. Through for a minor score.
Gary Ayres spoke before the game about respect, credibility and some aggression. Haven't seen it yet.
Well, let's head back down to Mark Aston with an update on Darryl White.
Yeah, you can't see him, but he's behind 2 or 3 of these medicos, so they are working on his right knee. It does look as though it's a bit of a concern. That's the latest.
Looked like he hyperextended, Matty. I don't know if you saw the replay, but certainly looked like a hyperextension of the knee, and that's not a good sign.
Here's Rashudo, smart, they've made a mess of it. McRae's getting involved heavily on his wrong side. Voss, got it. No Lynch, no Brown, so they just chuck Michael Voss up for it.
Fair replacement, isn't it? And once again, skill errors from the Adelaide Footy Club. Mark Rashudo looks like he's paying the penalty for it, coming off the ground now, being replaced by Chris Laddams. Came into this game under an injury cloud, Mark Rashudo, with a sore right leg. Maybe choosing the handball a little bit too often, and this could be a costly error.
Here's Voss for number 3. Looks pretty good off the boot. He likes it. Lions by 41 points here at AAMI Stadium.
Well, and I think that look from Mark Rashudo says it all. Adelaide Football Club in absolute disarray. 23 minutes into the first quarter. Off a thumping, looking for some signs. Mark Rashudo turns the ball over with just the wrong selection. Craig McRae doesn't miss. Their skill execution outstanding. Michael Voss up forwarder on the ball, an absolute match winner. Wrong match up there with Nathan Bassett, and this is a fantastic club via club in trouble.
Well, Nigel Smart's now gone back to full back. They've moved Bassett. There's Michael Voss on screen. He's kicked 3 goals, 1. They lead by 41.65. The Lions.
Ooh,
the Crows yet to score.
Well, they've got to do something, the Adelaide Footy Club. There's got to be a spark. They've got to change the flow of this game somehow. Somebody's got to stand up, take control of this game. Time for leadership.
Well, the first thing you've got to do is start picking up loose players, running with the ball. John Cock could get a kind bounce. He's got to beat McGrath. Was he hanging on? There was no free kick. McGregor been moved to centre half forward before the game. Chance now for Tyson Edwards. Pulled off the ball. Welsh trying to work his way to the front. Has marked just out. 10 metres out from goal.
Well, you're looking for someone to put their hand up. Scotty Welsh did. He's their key forward, the potential 60 or 70 goal forward the Adelaide Football Club need. And this has got to turn the tide. Got to be a goal.
15 metres out. rams it home.
Well, one of the few forward entries for the Adelaide Football Club, Scotty Welsh getting under a miscued kick from Tyson Edwards, just keeping his eye on the ball. Such a dangerous player, one-on-one, can mark it in the air or get it off the ground. Scotty Welsh had pretty good pre-season form coming into this, and gee, was that a much-needed goal for the Adelaide Footy Club. Still trailed by 35 points, but Scott Welsh has put his hand up and said this is not acceptable, kicking a much-needed goal.
Welsh with the first score for the Crows, the leading goal kicker from 2000. Still 3.5 minutes for Adelaide perhaps to get one or two quick ones before quarter time. Not going to do it if they can't win it out of the middle. Ackerman has got it from Lappin. Smart, read it the best. Been their best defender so far. He's had to do a mountain of work.
That was a bad kick. That was a bad kick by Ackermanis because Voss was 5 metres in front of his opponent, Nigel Smart.
Riley, McLeod on a long lead. Playing on quickly. Goodwin can get some depth with his kicks. He wants Stevens. Carey and Michael collide. Johnson, where will he go? Not too far with that. Brennan, the man they say can play with one hand. Long kick to McRae, or to Notting, I should say. Notting drives it to centre forward. 2 on 2. Bradshaw to spoil. McRae, good work to knock it forward to Voss. Clean take, round the body for number 4. He's got it! Voss has 4 in the first quarter. The Lions have 7. But give the goal to Craig McRae.
Oh, absolutely. Got to leave you speechless. But once again, Craig McRae, front and square. Brisbane just so well schooled. I mean, Michael Voss gets the goal, but Craig McRae in the right spot for a crummer. And just the vision, bang, knocks the ball on. Brisbane again, first hands to the ball. The Crows thumped at ground level like they were last week, and they've got some serious structural problems. Michael Voss, he doesn't have any problems at all.
7-5, 47 the Lions. The Crows, 1 goal, 6 behinds. May have been playing Michael Voss out of position all these years now in the centre as a ruck rover.
And here's the problem, centre square for Adelaide.
Should have been playing at full forward. Kicked 17 goals once, didn't he, in the under-18 competition for Queensland? 14. Everyone's entitled to an off day. Bounce of the ball inside the centre square. 47 plays 6. Michael Voss has already booted 4 goals. Singles to McRae, Brad Scott and Clark Keating, and Welsh, the only goal kicker for Adelaide. Burton got his boot to the ball.
Loose ball. All
the loose balls have been picked up by Brisbane. Thumped forward. Beats the Birdman over the line. For a toss back in.
Not convinced Nigel Smart on Michael Voss. He's a great matchup. I think Nigel's much better suited to a taller player. Michael Voss so good at ground level. Tyson Stengline, you would think, is the man at some stage for Michael Voss.
Just under 2 minutes left in this first quarter. Sharman and Biglands taken by Caracella. Black, Brownlow medalist, Norm Smith medalist. Can march on Anzac Day. He's got a lot of medals. Johnson from outside 50. Danger here. Now there's a push in the back. It's going to come back. And Chris Johnson will take the kick.
Yeah, I think Graham Johncock, the offender on that occasion, just pushing Johnson in the back as he went to kick. Pretty slight, but they pay those.
Chris Johnson.
Very slight.
Well, he's looking for his 150th goal in AFL football. Played a lot up forward when he was with Fitzroy, also with the Lions in the early days. In game number 199, right to the line, big pack of players. McRae, the danger man. High ball, kept alive, danger here for Adelaide. Punch through. Off hands, it's throw in.
And again, the story, Brisbane first hands to the ball on every occasion. As soon as the ball spills off a contested mark, Brisbane are the first one at ground level to get their hands on the ball.
Sharman will lock horns with Biglands. Pike thought he had it, lost it. Edwards slaps it off. Runs into Bradshaw. This is going to bounce through.
Thank you.
He's kicked a goal. They are destroying Adelaide in this first quarter. Just under a minute left. 5:53 plays. 6 points.
Hard to be continually critical of the Adelaide Footy Club and not admire what Brisbane are doing, but Tyson Edwards' decision to slap the ball into open space inside 50 is just a no-no. And Bradshaw kicks off, finishes the goal. 47 points the difference, an absolute blowout.
If you've just joined us, there's no mistake with our scoring system at the moment. It's very reminiscent of when the Lions played Collingwood in the Heritage Round last year. 8 goals in the first quarter, game over.
And there's the difference. Ackermanis holds the ball in, doesn't release, forces a ball up, and haven't Brisbane been dominant from restarts in this first quarter?
Here they go again. This time, not far enough for Adelaide. Black punches it forward. Indecision, but eventually Simon Goodwin. Now, John Cox got some space here. Can go over the top to McLeod. They need a good finish. Short, not to be. Missed the body. Shattuck with Welch, but the Crows have some numbers. McLeod, still working. Over to Riley. Welch, back involved for another. Has to go back. Running out of time. They don't know that. Henschel is too far out. They need a mark right on the siren, and they'll get it from Chris Laddams. The obvious is that this is a much-needed goal, Chris.
And you have just stated the obvious, and in the end, you probably, if you want the ball in somebody's hands, I'd like it to be in Chris Laddams. Kicked some big goals from this pocket. Kicked a beauty in the Wizard Cup this time last year, and back for his first game for the season. Is traditionally a pretty good kick for goal, and he'll desperately want to kick this one.
What a start by the Lions. They lead by 47 points. We're right behind Chris Laddams to bring it back to 41. Right on quarter time as he just hooked it across the face. He has. So not the best ever score by the Lions in a first quarter against the Crows. It was 1 point short, but an astonishing start. We're blown away up here in the commentary box. The crowd at AAMI Stadium's blown away because the Brisbane Lions have travelled here. They lead 8-5-53 to the Crows 1-1-7 in a brilliant first quarter. Mark Rasciuto spent some time on the bench in that first quarter. Chris, he's back out there now.
Look, the skipper's got to be in the midfield. He's got to get hold of the footy. Adelaide they need to attack now. No use defending and trying to grind their way back in. They've just got to open the floodgates, try and attack, get this game into a shootout. They've got to get their hand on the ball in the midfield. I mean, 37 touches to 19 with the comparative midfield results in favour of Brisbane, and they kicked 4 goals as well. So some big numbers there. Went inside 50 17 times. Brisbane scored 13. So the Crows' defence under pressure as well. Is there any way back from here? Oh, you wouldn't think so.
Just take it a quarter by quarter, though. That's all they can do. Plenty of time. 46 points is the margin as Keating wins the first knock. Lappin, a couple of untidy disposals in that first quarter, but plenty of them. Keating just searching handball. Massey slung to the ground. Here comes Ackermanis. Burton, though, first to recover. Up to the wing. Here goes Riley. Well, he left it for Schuback instead. And Schuback finds Tyson Edwards inside his forward 50.
Jacob Schuback is a beautiful kick of the footy, over distance as well. That was an excellent kick.
Edwards to the top of the square. Where's Carey? Right with him, Michael. Brennan came in late just in time to spoil Stevens. Thought Stevens was going to grab that. McLeod trying to invent something here. He's kept it alive. Stopping, starting on the left to the goal front. Too far for Stevens. Spoiled through by young Jared Brennan.
Very important for Andrew McLeod to get himself into this game of footy. Sean Hart with a job on him. Hart's had plenty of the ball himself. Andrew McLeod, such a key player, under some pressure, but a bloke with that amount of ability has got to get his hands on the ball.
Well, 13 possessions to Lappin. Voss has had it 9 times. Black's had it 8 times. And Chrissy Johnson in defence, who's just kicking the ball back into play, has had it 6. Finds Ackermanis at centre-half back. Looks for Keating on the stretch, takes it.
It's just beautiful use of the ball.
And they just keep on running. Lappin down from the half-back line, hammers the ball out wide, finds Hart, weighs up the options, looking for Bradshaw, pushing and shoving, coming through also was Caracella, got his hands on the ball. Ground level, does well, shovels the ball out. McRae can kick a goal. Across the face. And through for a behind.
See, once again, Sean Hart with some ball there through the midfield. Andrew McLeod 35 metres away from him. Got to work both ways. Champion players like that are great when they've got the footy, but he must work both ways.
8-6-54 the Lions. The Crows 1-2-8. Shoeback, young man from Sale, goes short, finds Goodwin at halfback to Clark. Just retaining possession at the moment, the Crows, to Laddams from centre wing. Penetrating kick, big pack of players, they need a crumb up. Ground level, Lepage pounces on the ball, back to Black. Scrubby old kick, needing a kind bounce was Voss. Laddams does well, finds Goodwin, the run will come from Smart. Through the centre square, big kick. Mel Michael stands his ground. Taken by Stevens, quick snap! Kicked a goal.
Mightn't have looked pretty, but Nigel Smart with the direct route to goal just banged it into the danger zone. And that's the style of footy I think the Crows supporters have been looking from them. It doesn't have to be pretty, but it's predictable. Scotty Stevens gets a crumb, kicks the goal, and they sneak one closer.
First goal for the second quarter to the Crows. Exactly what this big AAMI Stadium crowd was looking for. Keating wins the knock. Massey, though, out-positions Black. Long ball. Lepage at the back, the spoil. Free kick Adelaide. Going in first for the footy was John Cock. That's how you get the free kicks. Get first at it.
Well, Graham, John Cock will always put his body on the line and work to the front of the contest. He knows where the ball is.
Let's take a look.
And again, a little lucky, but we've seen a couple of lucky ones paid today.
Yeah. Just a second free kick for the Adelaide Crows. Now, distance-wise, he's a long kick. He's a beautiful kick of the footy. This well within his range.
Yeah, no doubt. Takes a long run up, but if he connects, it's certainly a reachable goal.
John Cock for the Crows' second goal in a matter of minutes from about 53 metres. It's pretty good. It's there. Adelaide with another one. Something to get excited about.
The Crows' skill level not been acceptable today. Turned the footy over on too many occasions. Graham John Cock making the most of his opportunities.
Lions by 34 points, 54 plays 20. John Cock playing game number 50 today as Clark is inspired. Down to McLeod, pumps the ball deep inside 50. Carey, big fist away. It's going to be a tough afternoon. Edwards. Mowed down that time by Mel Michael. Boundary throw in.
Better signs, though. Got a ball, a centre clearance, which they haven't been able to do with any regularity so far in this game. Wayne Carey, such an important player for them, just to provide a go-to man. He doesn't have to mark it, but he's got to provide a target for them to sit the ball on top of if they're going to work their way back into this game. Crows very dangerous from this area, though. An opportunity for
Keating thrown off the ball. Clark slaps it down. John Cock again. Barrels in for the ball. Clark. Fresh air shot taken away by Johnson. Somehow weaves his way out of trouble. Magnificent play. Finds Scott. Goes wide looking for Pike. Took it on the half volley. It was clever play. The intensity's gone up with the Crows. Pike will take the free kick. He's on half back. 54 plays 20. 8-6-54. 3-2-20 is Martin Pike. Lined up at centre half forward. Massey read it well. Must have been some speech there at quarter time by Gary Ayres. He's pumped them up.
Well, he would have had to pull out one of his best. Chris Massey starting to have an influence. Very quiet in the first quarter.
To Henshaw from centre half back. This is better. Finds the run of Shoeback. He's been good since coming off the bench. Thumping kick. Carey stands his ground. It's going to be tough because Mel Michael stands 2 feet off, jumps and thumps the ball forward. Black's over the top of the ball, looking for a free kick. Brennan goes in hard for Brisbane. We've got a ball up 45 metres out from the Crows' goal.
Let's go down to Mark Aston quickly for an update on Darryl White.
Yeah, Medico's still working on his right knee there, and do take note, there is an advantage from right to left. There is a bit of a breeze.
Yes, the Adelaide Crows have got the opening 2 goals. They're looking to make it 3. Burton round the body, doesn't bend it back far enough, just the behind. There's Darryl White still getting some manipulation work on that right knee. 33-point margin to the Brisbane Lions. Chris Johnson contemplating his best option at the moment. Decides it's that little short one that you love, Kevin, the one in the back pocket.
That's where I'm going to play when I come back as a player. I'll be just praying the opposition kicks about 35 behinds in a game.
It's a long way to go from there, fella.
That's 35 marks.
Oh, they've squared it into the middle from McGrath to Michael, and the switch comes to Shattuck, but they haven't gone too far yet, the Lions. Hart provides a long lead to the wing. It's honoured by Shattuck. Lappin there also. The bounce favours him. Up the line, it was touched in flight. Ackermanis missed it. Unlucky for Riley because Ackermanis was out of the contest there. And he now drives it forward looking for Pike, who's been quiet. It's been a good job so far by Stenglein. Black, the accumulator of possessions. Hart, quick hands to Pike, off one step towards the centre. Crows with numbers here, going back and marking Burton. He switches wide. Stevens is a long way from home. Now, he hasn't got a lot to kick to here, Scott Stevens. Nigel Smart, strong running to provide an option. Doesn't get a kind bounce. Voss went to ground. Smart, well done.
Oh, did it well.
Evades Brennan Easley. Kick somehow falls in the lap of Brent Riley. Here go the Crows again. He's called to kick it long towards Carey. Michael's just been punching at will here. Carey over the back. A chance for John Cock. Off the ground. It goes to the right of the post, just to behind. The crowd want a free kick. It's not to be. But Adelaide continuing to attack, Chris.
Yeah, certainly having a moment. They need to get some goals on the board. What they've done is thrown the old playbook out of the window. Just gone back to a basic game style. Get it long and strong inside 50. Get some blokes front and square. Old style footy, but it's paying off for the Crows at the moment.
Adelaide back to 31 points. The margin was 46 at quarter time. Importantly, the Lions have only scored one behind, and there's 11 and a half minutes remaining. Darryl White just testing that knee out, but doesn't look good from his point of view about coming back this afternoon. Johnson, Hadley, up the middle to Ackermanis. Now it goes wide. Good running from Jared Brennan. He lopes along. Long ball, Caracella out of position. Well done by Lennon. Somehow it falls towards Hart. Got to be quick. Kicks right across the face of goal. Ball still alive. Well done by Stenglein. Did well. Pike wraps him up. Voss, been quiet. Nowhere to go. Out of bounds. Good work by Tyson Stenglein. Had to beat two. Kept it towards the boundary.
Yeah, it certainly was great work from Tyson Stenglein. He's done a pretty good job on Martin Pike so far in this game.
Boundary throw in, right on the forward 50. Hart punches forward. Laddam's there for the Crows. With a little bit of time. Hooks it back towards the wing. No one there for the Crows, though. Goodwin arrives. So too McGrath. Another boundary throw in.
But again, the right kick from Chris Laddam. Just get the ball out of the danger zone. Crows just got to play the percentages in this second quarter. Working their way back into this game. Keeping it simple.
Clark over the top. He was heading for Smart. Two efforts from Smart. He's going nowhere. 54-23. And this performance so far in the second quarter by Adelaide has given their supporters some hope. They would have been very dejected at quarter time, given the scoreline. Clark continues to win the knot. Voss plays for a free kick, doesn't get it. Good umpiring, Gavin Dorr.
Through the head back.
Yep.
Puts the hand to the throat.
I should say Brett Roseby, I'm sorry, and a wide grin.
He's got to smile himself. It's a ball up on centre wing. 54 plays 23. Oh. The Lions by 31 points. Taken away by Scott inside 50. Henschel has been handy at centre half back. Edwards on the burst, charges through the centre square. Tyson Edwards weighs up the options and goes bang long, looking for Carey one-on-one. Mel Michael has been very strong in those contests. Doesn't attempt to mark. Big fist away and through from behind.
Great work from Tyson Edwards on that occasion, breaking through the midfield. We haven't seen a Crows midfielder do that all game. Again, keeping it long and strong. And the Crows look dangerous when they do that.
Johnson to Mel Michael. Lappin wanted it short.
She's dried up in the midfield for Brisbane though, hasn't it? All the run from the first quarter, non-existent in the second. Crows with control.
Just sharing the ball around. To Shattuck. At half-back. Still inside the defensive 50. 3-6-24, the Crows, the Lions, 8-6-54. As Shattuck kicks the ball long, looking for Charman. Voss chips in. He kicked 4 goals in the first quarter, playing it full forward. Beautiful kick, running with the flight of the ball. Didn't have to break stride that time. Was Hadley, gives it across to Ackermanis. And it's been deemed a throw. And Stenglein has done a mighty job on Martin Pike. Goes short, finds Tyson Edwards. Loose man sets up. Massey just starting to really find his feet now for the Crows.
Just got to stay healthy, Chris Massey. A very good player, just a suspect body.
Inside 50. So danger for Brisbane. Again, Mel Michael does nothing but fist the ball away. Taken away by McGrath. The run will come from Black. The Brownlow medalist, they'll share the ball around. Lappin to McRae. They charge through the centre square. Tumbles the ball forward. Looking for the ball out in front is Notting. Here's a thumping kick. Stands and delivers from outside 50. Charman's getting back. Takes a great grab.
That is just a fantastic kick of the football, isn't it?
It was confidence, wasn't it, from Notting? He thought, back Charman to run to the goal square and mark it. Good confident kick.
But he's a thumping kick, Notting. Jamie Charman. Last year with Keating, such a force in the grand final. Will kick Brisbane's first goal of the second quarter. Bangs it through.
Important goal to Brisbane. Against the run of play, it was all the Adelaide Football Club for the first 15 minutes, 17 minutes. There's the throw, which cost Brisbane dearly. But what a fantastic kick this is. Just had the composure to look up, see where Charman was. Just such a long, strong kick in front of him. Fantastic football. That's why they are all class.
Jamie Charman in his 50th game with his 12th career goal. Lions to 36 points. Clark. Good one off one step. Tough ball to mark. The spoil came from Brennan. Ackermanis doesn't get a kind bounce. Rashudo searching handball is good. McLeod on the left. Again Carey and Michael one-on-one. Again Michael. It's just the positioning. It's almost a perfect game so far from Michael.
Just so strong. I mean, Wayne Carey is such a big man, and Mal Michael handling him with ease. Only the one touch so far for Wayne Carey.
Let's quickly head to Mark Aston once again.
Yeah, Darryl White with a stretch bandage on his right knee. It looks okay. He seems as though he may well come back on again. He's still looking at it and poking and prodding it, but at least the medicos have left him alone now, and he's been running up and down the boundary. So perhaps good news for Darryl White.
Well, it's not required at the moment because even though it's been Adelaide's quarter so far, the margin is still 35 points and we're inside the last 7 minutes. As we've seen this so far today, the Lions just prepared to be patient in their back 50 and share it around, build up some possessions and disposals, Kevin.
Yes, can anyone beat Mel Michael one out? Just standing there pushing and shoving. I mean, he's a huge man.
KB, I don't think you and I could, that's for sure.
But maybe Wayne Carey's got to start leading a little bit, just break it up a bit.
I'm not minding it. I mean, I know he's winning most of the contests.
Here's a chance. Laddams did brilliantly well to keep it in play to McGregor, to John Cock. Good play, Chris Laddams. Didn't give up on the contest, wanted to keep it in play. And now an opportunity for Graham Johncock. Already has a goal in this quarter from about the same distance. He's probably a touch inside it. So, for his second of the quarter, to get the margin inside 5 goals, looks pretty good off the boot, it's there. The Crows are still alive in this second term. And Chris, we said just at the start of this second term, work it each quarter, and they've dragged the margin back.
Yeah, you certainly wondered whether they could. Chris Laddams doing all the hard work on that occasion. A mismatch there in height against Notting, but he's got the job, keeps the ball in play, as you said. His reflex give is very good. And the Crows hit a target, and what an important player Graham Johncock is. We've spoken about him in the pre-match, his 50th game today. Such a powerful kick for a small forward, very important for the Crows.
9 scoring shots to 2 in this quarter by the Crows. It's been a good fight back, 4-7-31. They trail by 29 points, 9-6-60. After trailing by 46 points at quarter time. Chance for Ackermanis to run onto the ball. Stenglein has been very good at half back. It's a ball up just outside 50. Just under 5.5 minutes left in this second quarter. Copeland just taking up the starting position. He's going to sprint onto the ground when he gets his chance. 4 goals won to Michael Voss, all coming in the first quarter. Lappin pulled off the ball. Biglands does well with strength. McGrath got into the back of John Cock. Crowd didn't like it. Stevens gets the ball forward. Tyson Edwards just outside 50. Short. Lepage read it well. Carey this time feeds the ball off. Chance now, bouncing, hits the post from Gallagher. Can't believe it. Missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity it was, but an opportunity nonetheless. Just starting to look dangerous. Gary has certainly worked on his structure. Mark Rashudo off the ground at the moment. Crows looking a lot better.
Pinpoints it to Lappin. Came from Johnson. Lappin's the playmaker across half back. It's a shocking kick. Taken by Doughty. Does well, goes wide. Looks for Riley. Stands and delivers from the edge of the centre square. Carey's the target.
Free kick.
Now appealing for the free kick, and he's got it. Too far out to score.
Just got to hit the hot spot.
Up the side of the boot. Biglands. Birdman over the top, couldn't take it. McGregor worked his way to the front. All tied up just 25 metres out from the Crows' goal. It was a bad kick from Carey.
Yeah, certainly. And Chris Johnson just not thinking, had to take possession and at least force a ball up. Keeps the Crows alive.
Charman got his hands on the ball. Carey beaten by Michael. Finds Hart. Copeland was clever play to Lappin. Played it to himself. He needs support.
Well done, Gallagher.
I tell you what, it's the Crows Young Brigade too that are flying the flag for him. Gallagher, a couple of good efforts. John Cock, Shoeback, Chris Laddams has been very important.
Henschel.
In this quarter, Henschel as well. The Crows youngsters certainly can hold their heads up in this second quarter.
Burton somehow scooped the ball back. It was a throw.
No, out of bounds.
It's a throw.
Oh, no, try. Both umpires.
Scott from half back. Bradshaw's the target, playing in front. Good body work by Henschel, being pinched that time by McRae to Pike. You want to give it across to Ackermanis. Acker wants to run in and kick a goal. Ackermanis just hurried the kick. That was a wasted opportunity and through for a behind.
Certainly was. First the fumble from Martin Pike, and secondly the kick from Jason Ackermanis. Just hasn't, not quite on song today. Seen him turn the ball over on 3 or 4 occasions with his foot skills, which are normally outstanding. 2.5
minutes remaining in the first half as Laddams chips short to Edwards. It's got a loose player, Nigel Smart. Here go the Crows once again. Long ball up the wing. Stevens. Somehow McGregor trying to keep it in. It's still in. Lepage takes on McGregor. The handball misses the target. Copeland under pressure. Well done again by Gallagher, but he's got to beat 2. He won't, and there'll be a ball up.
Well, that's a win, I reckon. You just hold the ball in the area. Great work from Gallagher. Off the bench over the last couple of minutes, had 3 or 4 important touches.
The desperation's there at the moment for the Crows.
Where was it in the first quarter?
Big leap by Biglands, knocked it forward. McGrath, the tackle's good enough. It spills to Goodwin. He kicks long towards the goal square. It's a goal! The Crows get another one. Another goal to Adelaide. 4 goals in this quarter, just the one to the Lions. And first at the footy, Chris.
Certainly are, and they weren't in the first quarter. They couldn't get their hand on a loose ball. Simon Goodwin gets the credit for the goal, but the tackle and the forward line pressure from Graham Johncock was the difference. That's why he's such an important player to this club. Offensively and defensively, he can do it all. Big goal, not only 4 goals in the quarter, 11 shots at goal, and the Crows are back in it.
Well, at quarter time, we thought the fire in the belly had gone out of the Adelaide Crows, but the pilot light was still burning. Chance now for Black. Gets it across. Notting's on the charge out of the centre square. Great kick. What a goal. Fantastic play by the Brisbane Lions. That was magnificent.
An absolute heartbreaker. Notting's had a couple of kicks today in this second quarter. Such a powerful leg. Once again, Brisbane get the ball out of the middle. So important to get first use of the ball. Charman with the head out, Brisbane with the clearance, Notting with the goal. It is that simple.
It was great play. And Notting is quick. Opening style and a thumping kick. We were still just reminiscing about the good play of the Adelaide Crows and the Brisbane Lions whack a goal on.
Quick answer, wasn't it? Here we go for Charman and Biglands. Adelaide though, first to it, Edwards. Goodwin, long ball, still time for another Crows goal. Carey at the bar! Super mark by Wayne Carey. It's been coming.
Well, that's the first time really he's actually ran to the ball and could jump forward. Even though he only had to go 3 or 4 metres, at least there was some forward momentum.
Certainly was, and got the arms up too. That's a good sign for if you're a Crows supporter. That is vintage Wayne Carey. Nothing Mal Michael could do about it. He was in exactly the right position to spoil. Couldn't get over Carey. Now he's got to finish.
Carey, this used to be his bread and butter. He's inside 50. Starts it right, looks good, goal Crows. They answer, the Lions quick answering goal themselves. Once again, Chris, just proving how important the centre square takeaways are.
Oh, so critical, Matty. And once again, the Crows doing what they said they wanted to do, turn this game into a shootout. So many times we've seen Simon Goodwin on that occasion. Crows midfielders want to chip the ball short, go wide. That stage just bang long and strong to the contested area where Wayne Carey does his stuff and kicks the goal.
Have we got time for one more?
I think we have.
Well, vintage Carey. Charman comes charging in, beaten by Biglands. Clever play by Ackermanis. They trail by 23 points. There's a chance. Notting again. Runs to 50. Take 2. Oh, he's kicked another goal.
Oh, you're kidding.
Was that a replay or was that live? Are we live? Are we live or was that a replay?
I tell you what, Kevin, if you just hang on, we'll get a replay. But it's our people in the truck can't find it. It's too quick.
Can we ask the director, Sean Rowley, was that a replay or are we seeing this live?
Well, doesn't that leave you speechless? Just backs himself, got a good turn of pace, kicks the ball 60 metres on the run. Thanks very much. Matched up against Chris Laddams at the moment. Laddams has had his moments in this second quarter, but Notting certainly had the better of him in those 2 big goals. Goal for goal here at AAMI Stadium.
Goals coming thick and fast. That one took 15 seconds. Charman, Voss, left hand over the top. Here's Notting, the man of the moment. Back to Brad Scott. He's got Copeland. Back to Notting, he misses the target. Hart is there. Long ball, seconds counting down in the first half. Over the back, Charman couldn't take it. Ball at ground level. What a spectacular end to the first half. But it's been the Crows' second quarter, but just a couple of late goals to Tim Notting. I guess giving the Lions a little bit of breathing space because the Crows were storming. And at half-time, after a 5-goal second quarter to the Adelaide Crows, the margin was 46 points at quarter time. They've got it back to 29 points, and the game is still on here at AAMI Stadium. Darryl White testing things out. Second half about to get underway, so he's not sure. He's not too happy about what's going on. The Lions will be kicking with the aid of this breeze to the left of screen in the third term. Mark Rasciuto, Chris, hasn't had a kick yet. He's had 5 handballs.
No, we spoke, I think, during the call about the ability of Michael Voss to push forward, play as a key forward. Now Mark Rasciuto has gone to the goal square for Adelaide. Good move by Gary Ayres. Does lead well, can find the goals. So Wayne Carey at full forward with Rasciuto alongside him. A Scott Welsh and a Graham Johncock inside 50 is a very potent forward line for the Adelaide Footy Club. They've now just got to get the ball in there the same way they did in the second quarter with some speed, and they can kick probably the 16 goals that they need to kick to win this game of footy.
We're underway for the second half with the Adelaide Crows down by 29 points and Matthew Clark, as usual, getting his hand to the ball first. And we'll have a replay of the ball up as Robert Copeland awaits a return to the ground. Obviously, Lee Matthews not happy with the setup, and perhaps it's because Rashudo's gone forward and at the moment Johnson's on him. So perhaps Copeland will head in that direction as Ackermanis goes forward. Bradshaw. The spoil came from Henschel. Well done by Shoeback. Gets on his left and spots Burton out in the wing. It just doesn't quite carry for him. Nodding. Those two exciting goals just before half-time. Michael and Carey and Chris Johnson and Michael have been together in 3 premierships. Here's a chance for Riley. Off the ground is Clever.
It's all right.
He's got it back. Good play. Outruns Ackermanis. Low ball. Now here's Rashudo. Great take.
Oh, it's
not a bad tackle either.
Just quietly.
Welsh missed it. McGrath on the up to Shattuck. He misses Notting. Brennan to Ackermanis. The 1-2 back to Jared Brennan. In turn, Brad Scott now. He's trying to draw the player to release Keating. Decides to go long towards Voss. Great spoil by Nigel Smart. Ball still in play though. Pike back to Voss. Bradshaw heads long to the goal square. That's where Voss decides to go. Hooks the kick. Just the behind first score for the second half to the Lions.
Great start to Michael Voss. The Crows have got the mismatch in their forward line if they can get the ball down there. Mark Rashudo, Chris Johnson 1-on-1 is an ideal matchup for the Crows. Need to get the ball inside 50.
Edwards comes away for the Crows, goes wide, is looking for Shoeback. Young man from Sale's been pretty impressive, runs away from Bradshaw onto the left boot. Carey, great hands out in front. The King, can he strut his stuff at AAMI Stadium? Long bomb. This could bounce right on the line. Desperate play. And finally through for a behind.
McLeod has come on and gone inside the forward 50.
Gee, it's a potent Crows forward line now. McLeod, Rashudo, Carey, Welsh, Johncock. That's as good as it gets for the Crows. Can they get the score on the board?
Johnson to bring the ball back into play. 74 plays 45. 11-8 to 6-9. Lions led by 46 points at quarter time. 29 points at half time. As Johnson brings the ball back into play. Always finds that loose man. This time Lappin. That's a rare error. Caught in the tackle. He's gone. Now, could that just be the turning moment for the Adelaide Crows? Big bomb. Carey takes the front position. Mel Michael, the big fist away. Kept alive by Gallagher. Maybe a bit of magic from McLeod. Around the corner, Stevens. Brennan, brilliant. Who's quick, super quick. Finds Lepage. Now can open up. Ackermanis on the charge to the half-forward line, looking for Voss. Super play back to Pike. He wants to tumble it through. Bradshaw can kick it off the ground. And kicks a goal.
How's that for rebound footy? Where did that come from? Adelaide was certain to score a goal there.
Absolute certainties, but how often do you see it? A missed opportunity at one end, bang, rebound footy, goal at the other end. Jason Ackermanis, much better disposal on this occasion. Michael Voss leading Nigel Smart to the ball.
It was a clever kick too by Martin Pike. I reckon he wanted to tumble the ball out in front so that he could actually run onto the ball, maybe thinking he could run through as well. But 2 goals to that man on screen.
And that hurts.
Bradshaw with his second. The Lions stretch the margin to 35. And Lappin gives it to Black and they go forward again. Smart, the big punch. Pike leads in the race for the footy. Doesn't get a good bounce. Oh, well done, Stengline. Clever footy as he found the boundary. Burton tries to do likewise, and that's a clever kick.
It was great work then from Tyson Stengline. Martin Pike seemed to have him covered for pace, but just won the contested footy with sheer desperation, gets it out of the danger zone.
Intelligent football by the Crows defensive unit there. Keating and Clark to do battle down in front. Rashudo feeds it out. Got to be clean there. It could cost as Lappin gets to 50. Drives towards the goal square. Not a good kick. To the right for another behind.
Has Rashudo got something wrong with his foot?
Didn't kick right foot during the week. He did yesterday, but Wednesday only trained on his left leg, so there is a problem. But
hasn't kicked the ball today.
I think it's more or less that he hasn't had his hands on the ball to be able to kick it today. He's only had 5 handballs and just looked out of sorts.
Let's head down to Mark Aston on the boundary.
Yeah, just an interesting little story. Jared Brennan came off, went straight over to the bench and chatted to the coach. Might have been a bit loose on Scotty Stevens, so a bit of an education for the young man.
Thanks, Mark. Riley finds Stengline inside the centre square. Biglands wants it short, screaming for the ball. That's been ignored. He goes long and wide. Massey's going to be the target. Has to make ground. Gives away the free kick.
Gee, it was just silly from Chris Massey. The mark was already spilt, I think.
Chris Johnson had spilt the mark. Keating. Cool across half back. Clark takes a breather for the Crows. Hart at half back to McRae. Closing quickly was Burton. 22 possessions to Lappin, 15 to Black, 14 to Hart and 13 to Voss. Leading possession winners. There's another one for Hart. Playing in front that time was Smart. Taken by Martin Pike to Voss. Gives it across to Ackermanis.
He's burnt it again.
And again just hurries the kick. Been a bit impetuous today, Jason Ackermanis.
He certainly has. Gets no problem with putting his hands on leather, but it's about the 4th occasion today he's burnt the footy and just tried to be a little bit flashy and drill the ball. No need to do it. Scolds himself, but it's too late.
Goodwin from the kick out, 14 possessions to Goodwin. Make that 15, McLeod 13 and Edwards 11. Here's Keating, brought down the tackle by Biglands. Massey recovers well. Biglands from half back, thumps the ball in, looking for Carey. Got manhandled by Johnson. Kept alive, Mel Michael. Those big arms. They tie up Scott Stevens and just ram him into the ground. Poleaxed him.
I mean, that's a ferocious back half, isn't it? Imagine being tackled by Michael and Leppich.
Look at that, they got muscles on muscles.
That's Scotty Stevens fighting out of his weight category there.
Have a look. He could step in the ring with
I'd be looking for a tag.
Lennox Lewis. Chance for the Crows. Biglands got his hands on the ball. Ackermanis closes quickly, got a fist to it, kicked off the ground by Hart. They do all the 1%ers, the Brisbane Lions. They punch the ball forward, they knock on, they kick under pressure long, taken by Stengline. Can he open up? Finds Massey, back half of the centre square. Shoeback has been pretty handy today.
Catch.
McGregor. Well, they've put him at centre-half forward. A bit of a surprise move before the game to Stengline. Sets it up. They need a mark. Biglands thought he had it again. The big fist came. Now the run out of the back half. This is the problem for the Crows. Johnson gets his hands on the ball along with Black. Ackermanis is streaming down the ground. Martin Pike, they got to kick a goal. He's going to run. He's going to amble in. He wants to give it to Voss. And this is going to be goal number 5.
Mal Michael, take a bow.
Big punch.
Well, Mal Michael, take a bow, an absolute destroy in the Crows forward half, and Brisbane on the rebound. I mean, that's what Brisbane based their game around. Contested footy, strong spoil, open forward line. Martin Pike with poise. Very smart to give the ball to the skipper if he's standing on his own in the goal square. Voss gets number 5.
Voss with 5, the easiest one of those 5, and Mal Michael, he started it. And Martin Pike fed himself all on his own, 40 metres away from anyone else. Black scoops it back to Charman. Crows with numbers here though. That's a good mark to Henschel, 1-on-1 with Bradshaw.
And he's been okay in the back half, Trent Henschel.
Yeah, he's just playing his 5th game of AFL football. The Lions lead by 43 points coming up to halfway through this 3rd term. Contest on the centre wing. Biglands, that's a good mark. Strong mark by Rhett Biglands. Just his first for the afternoon. Adelaide towards their forward 50 now. The Lions with some numbers back. Almost again McGregor. On the up, here they go, McLeod wrapped up by Johnson. And strong tackling once again from the Lions defenders.
Yeah, not just strong, it's ferocious tackling. I mean, they tackle to hurt, to make a physical presence. It's great to see Andrew McLeod on that occasion, doing the right thing, holding the ball in the contest.
Charman and Biglands. Biglands gets his own knock. Still going Adelaide's way. Goodwin. Plenty of players in there, though.
If you were to pick the best backman of all time, Johnson, Michael and Lepage, they'd be hard to displace, wouldn't they?
Oh, you go back a little bit further than I do.
On the trot.
Infringement in the ruck against Biglands.
They're a great trio, aren't they?
Oh, you'd take him, wouldn't you?
He's not happy. A lot of the sellout crowd here at AAMI Stadium aren't happy with the scoreboard. There's Charman. Drives long towards centre wing. Strong use of the body by Bradshaw to the run of Lappin, who, while he's had 24 disposals, has made a few errors.
Here they go again.
Open forward line, no one inside the forward 50. Well done, Nigel Smart, left Voss. Bang forward brilliantly. Ackermanis to Voss. Will this be 6? Off the left. Yes, indeed. Can we go back, Chris, to that knock forward? Who was that?
Craig McRae again. We've had 2 replays.
That's just super footy, isn't it?
Oh, it's just brilliant. It's just the team, the cohesion of this team. Once again, at ground level, McRae the man. Again, 2 times today he's done it. Loose ball, Ackermanis, reflex give, Voss, left or right, it does not matter. The Crows needed to be within 3 at 3/4 time. Fair to say they've got some work to do.
Lions by 49 points, and Ackermanis was so quick. The first 2 or 3 metres, just got in front of his opponent, just gave off the handball. Super quick. Lions by 49. They'll keep on coming. High ball. One for the Braves, thumped away that time by Welsh. Doughty involved in the action. Shoeback bobbles the ball towards the boundary line. And McGrath, clever play, back to Johnson. He has been magnificent today in defence. Charman hasn't lost it and been pinched by Johnson again. Johnson on the charge, drops it in short, looking for Hart. Crows come away, Shoeback.
Got to score here,
Can set it up to John Cock. Through the centre square, wants to draw the opponent, does well. Gets the ball back to Gallagher, inside 50, and on the stretch. Taken by Scott Stevens.
Well, a little fortuitous, but if you play in front, occasionally you get lucky. Scotty Stevens played in front. The kick from Gallagher slews off the side of the boot. And boy, do they need this one.
Just under 7.5 minutes left in this third term, and Stevens, wrong side of the post. Through for a behind. ...24 possessions to Lappin, 18 to Hart, 17 to Black, 16 to Voss and 15 to Chris Johnson. Goodwin heads the stats for the Crows, 15, McLeod 13, Edwards 12 along with Stevens.
Got some numbers there, Adelaide, but haven't had the quality, have they?
Michael Voss has booted 6 goals, 4 in the first quarter and 2 in this third term. Lappin, highest possession winner on the ground, 25 possessions now in the back pocket. Charman takes the front position. Massey roved it well, pounced on it. John Cock. Riley runs into a roadblock, taken away by Biglands. Hammers the ball back inside 50. Carey. Mel Michael just hustles the ball back over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Telling numbers for the against the Adelaide Footy Club. Normally so dominant at centre bounces and clearances. 39 to 19 Brisbane lead. Absolutely dominant in the air and at ground level with their midfield well and truly on top.
Yet to kick a goal in this third term, the Crows. The Lions have booted 3.
Free kick to Adelaide.
3 ruck infringements all around the forward 50 in this third term.
That one for shepherding. And Rhett Biglands is a thumping kick. Distance won't be a problem. Accuracy, the only question.
Lovely shot of what is ahead of Rhett Biglands here. It's a 48-point margin to the Lions, and as Kevin mentioned, this would be the first goal. It's not even going to go close, but it's still alive here, the Crows. Big punch from Mal Michael again, this time with the 2 fists, as Hart drives it forward. Voss, Smart closes. Voss somehow gets the handball out to Hadley. He's got to run through 4 or 5 Crows here. Now the numbers with Adelaide. Riley trying to shovel it out towards Goodwin. He was trying to knock it forward. And we have a ball up inside the centre square.
We don't want to keep on being nice to Michael Voss, but just the take under pressure to hold the ball in when he went to ground and then dish off. I mean, look at that.
Test that knee out too. McGrath spills to Lappin. Adelaide here though with Biglands. Wrapped up beautifully. That was Copeland over Shoeback. And the Lions continue to tackle and tackle hard, as Chris mentioned. Just under 5.5 minutes remaining in the third term. Michael Voss with 6 goals, all to the left of screen. Here he is again. Black with an uncharacteristic fumble. McRae, who does all the hard work, scooping it forward again. Adelaide with 4 or 5 here though. Shoeback to Biglands. The big man's away, gets past Caracella, drops it on the boot. Well done by Biglands. Kerry marks inside forward 50. Doesn't waste any time. Loads up from 50. Gets long, gets left, just to behind.
Gee, they're not learning, are they, Adelaide? No one's kicked to the right-hand post. You know the breeze is going to push it across. 2 or 3 occasions, just haven't hit the right-hand post here at AAMI Stadium. You've got to do it every time.
14-11 the Lions, 95. The Crows, 6-12, 48. Lepage keeps the ball alive. McGregor, first to the scene. Taken away this time by Doughty. Inside 50. Chris Johnson. He is killing the Crows.
Umpire's paid a throw.
I reckon he spotted it well too. So Chris Johnson jogs back, asks the question. Here it is. Takes possession, then lost it.
Oh.
It was a bit, yeah. He didn't dispose of it, did he, really, by punching it? I think it's a good call.
Gee, they've paid some indifferent ones today. Just been a little technical, but the Crows will take it.
It looked like he wanted to handball it, but didn't.
Fumbled. And Graham Johncock, you'd like the ball in his hands, wouldn't you?
48 metres out. Johncock straight through the centre.
Well, a much-needed goal to the Crows. 4 minutes left in this third quarter. Jason Ackermanis has a spell on the bench.
Has a wave.
A little cocky, and Chris Johnson maybe just a little unfortunate. Just lost control of the ball. It slipped out of the hands. For mine, that's play on. But the Crows will take it, and they needed it.
One, you can make a call to Clinton Gribus on White Line Fever on Monday night. Kevin, will you be on?
Okay.
Back with the action, 41-point margin to the Lions. With Johncock with his third, so he's the leading scorer for the Adelaide Crows. Nodding, hands free. Charman fumbled. Nodding went in again. Punched by McLeod. And here go Adelaide. Oshudo finally gets a kick. Lepage, McGregor. Lepage, high ball, that'll stay in. Tough one to mark. Black. Or Copeland, I should say. Here's Adelaide with the numbers. Edwards spots a player in the middle. It's McGregor. Here they go, though. Little handball over the top to Welsh from Goodwin. Welsh into an open goal, and they get 2 in a minute. The crowd come alive at AAMI. Welsh is second. And they worked hard to that one, Chris.
Certainly did, but that's what they've got to do, Scotty. Welsh spent most of this third quarter on the interchange bench. Crows trying to get their setup right. Mark Rashudo gets a kick, gets it inside 50. And once again, some good work from James Gallagher. Strong in the tackle. Into the danger area. Scotty Welsh finishes off. It keeps the door just a little bit ajar.
And Scotty Welsh kicking his second goal. Crows drag it back to a 35-point ball game. They trail by as much as 49 points in this third term. Biglands comes charging in, taken away that time by Goodwin. Still inside the centre square. Stevens round the corner, good play. Finds McGregor. Carey says, kick it to me wide. He's out in front of Mel. Michael closed very quickly, got that fist to the ball again. Carey just couldn't muster enough speed. Goodwin tries to shovel it out. Carey again. Working hard now with strength. Wayne Carey from 55 out. Welsh! Got him. Goal here be very handy. Tyson Edwards on the stretch, couldn't hold it, couldn't control it. And Notting with some fancy footwork did the hippie shake and comes away and pumps the ball wide. Happy to see it go over the line for a toss back in. Just
Tyson
under
Edwards
3 minutes left.
Did everything but mark it. Beautiful vertical leap. Just fell out of his hands, but a fair effort.
They trail by 35 points, and Ackermanis, on your mark, is ready to go. Desperate play. I think that's Goodwin at the bottom of the pack. Carosella over the top. We've got a ball up. The Crows have forced the ball out towards the half-back line. Just over 41,000 fans as Risciuto comes off. And Burton comes on. Black needed a kind bounce, missed it. Voss never misses. Great hands. Hammers the ball back, and Martin Pike stands and delivers on the chest. To centre half forward, inside 50. Good mark taken by Riley. To McLeod, cross half back. Just looking for an opening. The Crows, Tyson Edwards. The Birdman from the half forward line, getting back is Copeland. Brave attempt.
Not the best kick there from a quality player in Tyson Edwards. He'd be disappointed with that.
Skill level hasn't been good today for Adelaide, has it? I mean, the hand or foot missed their targets.
Usually doesn't make too many errors as Copeland drives it back to a pack. Riley, good take down low, tries to burrow his way through and can't. We're inside the last minute and a half of the third term. The Crows have hit back with a couple of late goals.
Got to think they need probably one. I mean, if they can get one more, go into three-quarter time with some momentum, they are a very silly chance.
Here's Biglands trying to knock it forward. Sharman doing likewise as McLeod with skill getting past Scott. Just missed the target a little bit, but Edwards going forward. Ball sits for Lepic. Could have used Voss. Does on the second attempt. Ball bouncing. Welsh did well. McGrath or Scott. Here goes Gallagher. Adelaide go forward inside the last minute. Can they get one more before three-quarter time? McGregor sets sail. Goes to the goal square. One-on-one. Shattuck and Burton. Ball at ground level. Burton just trying to keep it alive. He wants some support. Shattuck right with him. Michael coming in to lend a hand. Searches for the boundary line and Michael found it.
Great contest.
They must do a lot of practice, I reckon, the Brisbane Lions, just punching, extending the arm out and punching the ball. Because everyone in defence never takes that risk, do they? They've just got this, one arm out and thump the ball away.
20 seconds to go. Inside Adelaide's forward 50. Doughty. Out to Gallagher. Shoeback. The inexperienced players combining. Shoeback, not his best effort. Out on the full by a mile. And that's probably the three-quarter time score. Crowd on the outer side, voicing their disapproval of the earlier decision. Michael chipping it up to Voss. Gary Ayres getting prepared for three-quarter time as the siren sounds. Just the 5 goals in that third term. The first 3 coming to the Brisbane Lions, stretching the margin out to 49 points. But the last 2 coming to the Adelaide Crows to get the margin back to 35 points. Michael Voss has 6 goals for his team. Graham Johncock has 3 for the Adelaide Crows. At three-quarter time here at AAMI Stadium, the Lions lead by 35 points. Almost set to go for the final term. Crowd trying to lift their home team up. They were disappointing last week. They don't want to be 0-2 at the start of the season.
They'll certainly be happy with Brett Burton out of the goal square, though. We haven't seen him inside 50 today. Wayne Carey and Burton in the square.
And has proved a very good player against the Lions in the past up forward. Edwards couldn't get his kick. Lappin into the ground. The tackle came from Gallagher. Over 41,000 people here on a Saturday afternoon, stunned in the first quarter with the Lions opening. Since then, there hasn't been much in this game at all. Couple of fumbles. Keating, Messi, McLeod made them pay. Laddams is down. John Cock couldn't quite get it himself. Backing out of trouble into another man. Got away from Lepich and ran into Notting as Chris Laddams.
Ankle, it looks
rolled
like.
an ankle, yeah.
Had some trouble pre-season, Laddams, with shin splints and various injuries. That doesn't look good, and he's coming off the ground.
Bigland's won the knock, but only as far as Notting, who I think was quite happy to see the ball over the boundary line on the wing, and Laddams just trying to get some movement in that ankle, trying to run it off. Let's take a look. Just going.
Just see the tackle there from Lappin.
Underneath. Ball in. Bigland's noticeably starting in this last term. Welsh, Johnson. Welsh trying to hold it in the area. Laddams is no good. He'll be coming off.
Albeit very slowly.
Very slowly. And where are the trainers when you need them? There's one. He may have just rolled the outside of that ankle there. Let's hope he's okay. But we're back inside the forward 50.
It's brilliant.
Notting's read it again. He's been a good player since coming off the bench. Loves to run with the football. Trying to draw the player. Low kick. Not good enough. Massey marks.
Straight off the bench into the action. Massey, who can inspire the Crows. Smart. Finds Burton, stands and delivers. Carey pushing and shoving. Got rid of Mel Michael. Chance for Welsh. Shattuck squeezed up on the boundary line. Taken over for a toss back in.
Got to get the feeling the Crows need an early goal, don't they? Get the crowd back involved in this game. Chris Laddams in obvious discomfort there on the boundary line. Not a good sign. Right ankle trouble.
Tyson Edwards has pinched it from Keating. Inside 50. Great kick. Wrong side of the post. Through for a behind. Lions 14-11, 95. The Crows 8-13, 61. They trail by 34 points after trailing by 46 points at quarter time, 29 points at half time and 35 points at three-quarter time. Michael Voss has booted 6 goals, 4 of those goals coming in the first quarter, 2 in that third term. It's Chris Johnson who's been fantastic today. Thumps it all out, looking for Keating, caught behind McGregor. And we've got a ball up. Adams still getting attention.
And good attention to Brian Sando, the club doctor there. Been around forever and a day, Brian.
Olympic doctor, isn't he?
Olympic doctor. Certainly knows what he's doing.
Keating thumps the ball forward. Take 2. Close up there of the problem. Bigland's got interfered with when Hadley fell down across his feet. In an arm wrestle at the moment.
Well, it is, and what Adelaide have got to be careful of, this is suits Brisbane down to the ground. They've just got to open it up, take some risks.
Let's go down to Mark Oaston.
Yeah, haven't got a lot of information. It's obviously his ankle. Brian Sando had a good look at it, the club doctor. Now one of the other medicos are looking at it and just doing some bits and pieces. So I can't see him coming back on at this stage.
Thanks, Mark. Blackter kicks the ball back out, down towards McRae, who was held, and will take the free kick inside the centre square.
He's been good today, Craig McRae. Again, doesn't have to get a lot of the footy to have an impact in a game. Couple of good knock-ons, a goal himself.
Gallagher's got the job playing on Simon Black in this last quarter. Black's had it 18 times, 9 into Voss plus the 6 goals, 9 into Hart, 26 to Lappin. Goodwin with 18. To the half-forward line, Martin Pike playing in front. All tied up. So at the moment, the Crows just can't seem to break clear. In fact, all day they've really struggled. Blown away in that first quarter, particularly by Michael Voss. Notting, team-lifting stuff in the third term with 2 great goals taken away by Scott. Backtracks, conceded ground, retreated, and then thumps the ball inside 50, looking for Voss, pushed off the ball that time. Here's Black with those magic hands, looking for Martin Pike. Tried to kick the ball off the ground, couldn't do so, and now applies the strong tackle.
Gee, they're tackling.
Strongest tackling side in the comp, aren't they?
Without doubt. I mean, they're probably the strongest team in the competition, without doubt. All their players, even a McRae, a Power when he's available, are so strong in the tackle. Doesn't matter whether it's in the forward line or the back half. Good to see.
Danger for the Crows. Keating gets his hands on the ball. Lappin should kick a goal. Hits the post. Can't believe it.
Well, they've burnt it occasionally, haven't they? Nigel Lappin, 27 times he's had the ball in his hand. Turned it over on occasion, and maybe just a little casual.
Margin back to 35 points. Mark Haston once again with a bit of an update on what's happening with Chris Laddams.
Yeah, he won't be back on, that's for sure. He's had the ankle, what's he had done to it? He's had ice applied to it, he's sitting back and he's in great pain.
Thanks, Mark, as Red Biglands takes a very good mark on the outer side, and Simon Goodwin, a strong one himself, in front of McGrath. So can Adelaide mount something here? 15 minutes remaining, and they haven't managed a goal as yet. Forward. Chance was for Stevens, but Simon Black is getting back. Now here we go for Massey. A little bit of fancy work, looking for Stevens once again, but the Lions tackling is at the fore again.
Yeah, just can't get free, can they? Andrew McLeod can't get himself into the game. Their key players, Mark Prosciutto, as we've said, on the interchange bench at the moment, can't get clear space, Adelaide, to get their game moving. Brisbane will shut you down every time. Doing very well at the start of this last quarter.
Red Biglands has just qualified for the Olympics. Magnificent Fosbury flop over the top of Clark Keating, who's a big man himself.
Fosbury.
Or something like, maybe it was a Western roll. Look at that. One for the not so highlights tape. Ackermanis, not sure what he was doing there. Hadley, McRae, and Ackermanis kept going forward to 55. Decides that Michael Voss is the best option. Number 7 for Voss, and a goal from nothing really with the Lions. So quick in the takeaway.
Michael Voss, well, we've seen Pagan's paddock today, we've seen Matthews's. It's worked a treat 3 or 4 times. Brisbane have broken from a clearance, had so much open space inside 50. Jason Ackermanis, who's turned the ball over a couple of times with his leg today, not on that occasion. Great service to his captain. Kicks number 7. All class, Brisbane.
Lions by 41 points, 15-12, 102. The Crows 8-13, 61. 7 goals to Michael Voss as Keating comes charging in, beaten by, that time was Biglands, taken away by John Cock inside 50. Mal Michael playing in front to his partner in crime and Chris Johnson. They just keep bringing the ball away. Very hard to take a mark inside 50 against Brisbane. Great defensive team. Hadley gives it across to Keating on the centre wing. Inside 50 is a chance again. Voss has to shield his eyes from the sun. He's got it. Wait for a bit of magic. Martin Pike. Martin Pike has missed with an inside-outside check kick. Through from behind.
Personal best for Michael Voss, 7 goals. Who needs Alastair Lynch?
They won't get back in, Lynch and Brown. Just have to keep them fresh for the finals.
You're being facetious, Kevin.
Welsh takes the mark across half back. Short to Massey to the half forward line. This is where you have problems against Brisbane. They hunt in numbers, they flood back quickly. Plenty of players around the ball. Never get their ambitions and capabilities confused. As we see McLeod bounce it through, but it got touched on the way, surely. And through for a behind. Let's have a look at Wayne Carey. I think he was legged. No free kick.
Tough afternoon if you're a Crows supporter. Capacity House here nearly at AAMI Stadium. But Brisbane, from the start, far superior. And Gary Ayres with some headaches. Fremantle at Subiaco awaits the Adelaide Football Club. Tough start to season 204.
Is Rashuda on the bench because he's injured, or is he just having a bad day?
Well, I think you've got to think he's injured. For mine, if the captain's fit, he's out on the park, especially when you're looking for leadership. This club needs leadership at the moment. Mark Prosciutto always provides that. Not a happy figure on the interchange bench. Maybe not 100%, but good enough to be playing.
Finds Bradshaw. They control the ball well, the Lions. And Nigel Lappin. Ambles away from half-back, goes wide, spears the ball in, finds Copeland. Casual as you like, to the half-forward line, sets it up beautifully in front. Is Notting. Didn't even have to break stride.
Foot skills, so
Voss has booted 7. Martin Pike's going to get to the scene a bit late, and Nigel Smart. Would have been tough playing in defence today for the Adelaide Crows. That first quarter onslaught dented a bit of confidence as Biglands goes for a run. Finds Welsh, wanted to feed the ball off to Henshaw. Likes to kick the ball to Carey out in front. Does well. Did the umpire pay that? Carey dancing on the spot. Finds Scott Stevens. He'll be kicking from 55. Kicked the goal in the second quarter and a behind in the third. Stevens has pulled it left and through for a behind.
Well, he's had his moments today, Scotty Stevens. Touched the ball 15 times, had 4 shots on goal for 1 goal, 3. Not a great return. Normally a little more accurate than that. But certainly provided something for the Crows inside 50.
Chris Johnson, the short chip kick to the Kevin Bartlett pocket. Aaron Shattuck.
Be a dream playing today,
That's
don't you
where he
think,
wants to
Chris?
play, Chris.
Oh, of course. I thought it was the other side.
No, he's got both of them. 5 premierships. He's allowed to play wherever he wants.
You stand one side and I'll stand the other. We won't do anything else.
Shattuck's kick, spoiled from Biglands, who's working very hard in this last term. Dowdy back to Massey, player short in the middle, spots him. McGregor outside 50, thought about a couple, wants to move it quickly now. Kicks to a player standing on his own, should mark easily and does, and it's Tyson Edwards. Margin was 35 points at 3/4 time. It's 40 at the moment, so as we approach the halfway mark of this last term, if Edwards has had plenty of the footy for the Adelaide Crows as Rashudo comes back on, if he can kick this, it will have taken them a full half of the quarter to make a dent in the lead. Runs around, straightens, finishes. Good finish from Tyson Edwards. Just his first for the afternoon and the first for the Adelaide Crows in this last term.
Yes, it's been a long time. Brisbane's certainly done the job on them in the last quarter, been able to shut them down. Still a little slow to get the ball forward, Adelaide, but Tyson Edwards in the pocket on his own, plenty of open space. Had his 18 touches today, kicked the goal. Certainly not a horrible day for him, but a tough day nonetheless for the Adelaide Crows.
Lions by 34 points. Rashudo back on the ground, 15-13, 103. The Crows 9-15, 69. Charman thought he had it and lost it. Burrows in after the ball on the ground. McLeod, toe poke to Welsh, caught. McLeod, clever play. Hart thumps the ball back to McRae. Stands and delivers is Copeland, looking for Caracella. Thought he may have taken the mark. Not paid. Henshaw.
Been good today, Trent Henshaw.
Young man, showing a lot of promise. McLeod brings the ball away for the crowd, for the Crows. Gallagher on the edge of the centre square, goes short and finds Tyson Edwards. Plenty of runs still left in the legs. From the centre square, drills it in, looking for Carey, playing in front. Bradshaw, out-muscled in that time. Loose ball, Copeland to Lappin, who just keeps cleaning up across half-back. Here's his partner in crime and Chris Johnson. To Hart, he's looking for Ackermanis, and he will run with the ball. Goes short to Caracella.
Here's another one.
Martin Pike in front. Beautiful play.
Gee, their ability to take the ball from one end of the ground to the other with such speed and precision. I mean, what a weapon. Their skill level today just so superior. Their foot skills hitting every target. Tough kicking goals from here. He's got to go just outside the right-hand post, KB. You're the master.
No, we've seen it today. Everyone's virtually kicked to the centre of the goal, to the left-hand goal post. But if it starts right, there's a very good chance he'll kick the goal. Martin Pike from 48 metres. Nope. Right across the face of goal. And finally forced through for a behind.
Well, that is the Tony Hall pocket, KB. It's not the KB pocket. You've got the other two, but Tony Hall's got that one.
Yes, just regarding to Mark Aston on the boundary, Lee Matthews has taken both Mal Michael and Justin Lepich off, Mark.
Yeah, it's a confident move because my understanding is that both guys are okay. They're just getting rub downs and taking a rest. So, confident move halfway through the last quarter. What is it, 15-14 to 9-15?
So the Lions are going to perhaps play the rest of the game without Brown, Lynch, Michael and Lepich down the spine.
Your spine. I mean, you've seen enough of Brisbane tonight. They probably take their foot off the pedal occasionally. They get in front and maybe almost go into cruise control.
Certainly, I mean, they'd be comfortable to win regardless of the score.
They've still got Chris Johnson down back, haven't they?
Yes.
So that's
he'll do one of the three.
He'll take them on by himself. As we see, Notting comes over the ball, and this time a rare mistake puts it out on the full. But Bradshaw has gone back after he can play both ends of the ground. You've got Shattuck back there as well.
And McGregor, as opposed to Brennan, who's gone to centre half back, takes a strong mark. Ken McGregor. Long ball, Carey the target. Bradshaw the nudge. The mark paid to Bradshaw, and he quickly switches out wide to Lappin, who the statistics will show has had 32 disposals. Plenty of the football. McRae. Further up the line to Charman.
Copeland's free, waving his arms in desperation, says, kick it to me.
They've got a couple of players in the middle, and one of them's Hadley.
They are the masters at milking the clock.
They're quite prepared to just take their time.
Weren't they critical of Sydney doing this last week?
Lee Matthews said it was a tactic that...
15-second pause button.
Yeah, pause buttons. Shattuck. And they've turned it over. Well done, Brett Burt. That was hard running because he ran across all the way from the middle of the ground. He didn't give up on the contest, wasn't prepared to concede an easy kick to a Brisbane player.
Well, he has the best endurance at the Adelaide Footy Club, dominates pre-season, works extremely hard. Occasionally doesn't get to use that ability in a game if he's playing up forward, but work rate second to none.
Pinched by Goodwin, great tackle by Lappin. And he's caught high. They close so quickly. Yep. Good call. Goodwin. 21 possessions. To the half-forward line. I don't think they've taken one pack mark today. John Cock has booted 3 goals. He's now got 4. Well, he had a very good season last year, Graham, John Cock, and he looks like he's one of those big improvers for the Crows.
Oh, look, continues to improve. He's their standout youngster, that's for sure. Just knows the game. Very smart head. Goodwin with the kick to the hot spot. Front and square, John Cock. And good acceleration. Look, he's great from a standing start. Thumping kick. 4 goals today. A fantastic effort in a team that's done it tough.
Graham Johncock, the Crows have kicked 20 goals this year, Chris, 10 and 10. He's got 6 of their 20.
It's a very good stat.
Thank you.
How long did it take you to come up with that one?
30 seconds. Still working in there was Gallagher. Hadley slides it off to Copeland. Charman and Burton. Terrific grab by the Birdman. Lays it out wide. Gallagher. Loose players everywhere for the Crows. Here's the captain, Rashudo.
John Cock again.
Goes long. Carey wants it in the square. Got to beat a couple. Did Shattuck touch it? It's just the behind.
I don't think they've taken one contested mark inside 50 today.
Wayne Carey's one.
Correct, he did it with a big grab over the top. So they've taken one. Welsh took a mark in the first quarter, but it wasn't really contested, was it? Because he ran with the flight of the ball. Ackermanis out in front. Marks at half back. Plenty of hard running. Chris Johnson just continually runs out of the back pocket to set him up. Now he's going to get nearly just trying to milk 50.
You got to love him, don't you? He's a talent, that's for sure.
He's the last one of the magnificent 8 that went from Fitzroy to the Brisbane Lions. Kept the best to last. Pike. Hard at the front of the pack. Carosella tries to keep the ball alive, finally forced over. 104 plays 76, just over 4.5 minutes left in this final quarter.
Mark Prosciutto coming off the ground again. Scotty Stevens replacing him. Mark Prosciutto with only 5 minutes in this last quarter. Doesn't appear to be injured. Certainly doesn't appear to be happy.
Well, if he was injured, he wouldn't go back onto the ground for the 5 minutes, would he? Because you're not going to win the game.
Can't understand that one.
Biglan's cross half-backs. Tried very hard in this last quarter, Rhett Biglan's. He's rucked with plenty of bounce. Finds Henschel.
Good day for this kid today. I mean, they've done it hard, the Crows. He's been under siege, but Trent Henschel certainly probably won his position if he's on Blake Carosella all day.
Gallagher inside the centre square and on the stretch, taken by Notting. To Hart. They can find some space. Closing quickly was Massey, but Hart is such a clever player. 255 games, kicks a high ball. Do you reckon he meant that?
That is clever.
Did he mean that?
That's a clever player. Look away.
Finds Chris Johnson. Kicks the space. Burton needed a kind bounce and got it. Beats Lappin. Now he can run with the ball. Time for think music. 4 bounces. And the Birdman to the half-forward line. Looking for Carey. Got pushed out under the ball by Bradshaw. Brennan overruns the ball. Still has time. Carey
milks the free kick.
And the free kick is coming back. Jared Brennan, who Matthews said last year, his best young player that he's coached. I think he hurt his groin last year, osteitis pubis, only played a handful of games, but has played both games so far this season.
It's a big call, isn't it?
And he's the only player out there today for the Brisbane Lions who hasn't played in a premiership.
And maybe that might change over the next 6 months, perhaps.
Over the next 6 years. Hart. Happy to paddle the ball towards the boundary line for a toss back in.
Well, it's meandering on. Brisbane have done all they've needed to do in the last quarter. A forlorn figure of Chris Laddams, done the right ankle. Doesn't look good. Looks like he'll be missing next week as the Crows go across the border to Western Australia to face Fremantle. Another tough road trip.
Inside the last 3 minutes as Crows continue to work hard with Gallagher out to Doughty off one step. McGregor did the best there to beat 2. McGrath. Brennan standing in the tackle. Voss decided he's had enough of kicking goals. He's down the other end. Notting. McGrath slapping it forward. Only as far as Massey, who can use Edwards. Edwards thought about a shot at goal, then lays it off to Nigel Smart, who has followed Voss down, and he's going to have a shot from just outside the forward 50. Nigel Smart, the game's record holder here at the Crows. It's late in the day, not enough on it. Right to the line, and that's a mark. Carey, he's looking, he's thinking. And what can the former premiership skipper do from here? Just the 1 goal won from Carey. Well beaten by Mal Michael. The day runs around, left boot round the corner, hits the post. Not to be Wayne Carey's day. 1-3 for the afternoon. Exactly the score that he kicked against the Roos last week.
Yeah, well, you can't say the Crows haven't had opportunities inside 50, 54 times to 45. They've had it in there. But Brisbane's defence, as we've said, sung their praises all day. Unbeatable.
Hadley. Wide towards Henschel, who did well again, outpointing Carosella. Ball forward, 2-on-1. Miscommunication between Shattuck and Hadley, but Johnson decides he'll take over. Back to Shattuck, wrapped up by Gallagher. Here's McLeod. Tough kick from there, smother from Shattuck. We have a minute remaining in this game.
Gee, it's got ugly the last quarter, hasn't it? The last 10 minutes haven't been great. Tough day for Andrew McLeod, Mark Prosciutto, the Crows leadership group. A tough afternoon.
Well, Lappin's had it 32 times, Black 22, Voss 21 times, including the 7 goals. Chrissy Johnson 20 times. All their good players getting their hands on the ball. Shattuck pushed out of position that time, and a good mark taken by Stevens.
Done all right.
You were surprised he didn't play last week.
Yeah, really surprised. I've used him in that forward role all pre-season and then dropped him for the opening round. Very surprising when they had their best team to pick from. Back in today, this is his 5th shot on goal, 1-3 so far, but 15 touches, not a bad afternoon's work.
45 metres, directly in front. And Stevens kicks a goal.
Second goal to Scotty Stevens, brings the margin back to 21 points. Probably flatters the Crows because we've seen a very, very clean outfit in the Brisbane Lions today here at AAMI.
Well, they took off Mel Michael and Justin Leppich, didn't they?
Just
halfway through the
skeleton
quarter?
team at the moment. Last quarter's been ugly. The Crows have fought it out manfully. Had quite the amount of the ball after quarter time, but Brisbane too good early. The game was over at quarter time.
Well, that's the closest they've been since the 14-minute mark of the first quarter. The Adelaide Crows, and we're inside the last 20 seconds as Welsh bangs it forward. Bad bounce for John Cock. Scott will turn. Hook it out wide. Brennan, after some thoughts that he may leave it for Shattuck, decided to take the mark. Adelaide Crows have won 2 of the 4 quarters, but you're right, Chris. I guess the result was never in doubt. Lee Matthews starts off season 2004 with a perfect record after 2 rounds. They'll be very happy to come here to AAMI Stadium and pick up a win early in the year, given that they've got a few key forwards out. They still managed to kick 15 goals.
Oh, absolutely. The luxury of resting Leppich and Mal Michael in the last quarter. Brisbane Lions, we thought they'd start the season slowly, given the amount of injuries they've got, but they've got out of the blocks with a flyer. Akamanis, pretty happy with his day's work. And Michael Voss, the skipper, a fantastic afternoon.
This has been a Fox Sports presentation.